Well, here we are at the Feldbergring in Germany, driving an Auto Union Type C. If you've never heard of the track before, nobody blames you. It was only in operation from sometime in the 20s to 1954. Shut down for safety reasons, which, if isn't already apparent, will be very soon. The car ran in 1936 and 37, if I'm remembering correctly. It was an F1 car. However, this track was not part of the F1 circuits at the time. Oh, man. Baron Rosenmeyer drove this one here in 37. And his story is pretty fascinating, actually. I'll post a link down the bottom as we start braking very early. 1930s drum brakes takes a few weeks to get the car slowed down, and especially for this is the slowest part of the track right at the church here. Oh. So yeah, this car was part of the Silver Arrows era with Mercedes in the 30s, and a time when they just absolutely dominated motorsport. And I don't know how they did it, because if this is even remotely like driving the real thing, this car is an axe murderer with an engine. It tries to kill you at every single point of the track, no matter what you're doing. Don't get me wrong, it's really fun and interesting to drive. It's just very, very involved. That was maybe 50% throttle, and even then could barely keep the car pointed straight. If you are a driver who maybe has issues with throttle management and you want to train yourself to get a little better at modulating it, man, this is the car for you. Understeer is pretty bad, especially on turn exit. You can give it just a little throttle to help it rotate, but little is the operative word. Too much and you will be pointing the wrong way very quickly. Outside of the atrocious brakes, we have a car powered by a 6-liter V16 mounted in the rear. And it sounds fantastic. Unfortunately, oh boy, you don't get to hear it too much. Because touching the throttle means losing grip pretty quickly. Even at a track that's, as fast and sweeping as Feldbergring, you just never feel totally confident in the car. Ooh. Yeah. And if it wasn't obvious, we are playing it's a Assetto Corsa, and we're playing a pair of mods. I'll link those in the description as well. There's a lot of great classic tracks and cars for Assetto Corsa. I don't know if this track is my favorite, but this car is probably my favorite just because it is absolute insanity on wheels. Even driving a quote more modern car like a Maserati or a Ferrari 625, like, maybe 50s era F1 cars, it's just night and day. You can get so much more performance out of those than this thing. Alright, we're coming up to the long straight that leads up to the start-finish line. I'm gonna try to give this thing as much gas as we can. Oh boy. Oh boy, okay. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, we're at wide open throttle. It's, this is a quarter-life decision. Worse than that time that I got drunk off of gas station wine the night before Petit Le Mans. Yeah, we got a break here. Oh boy. Just sitting in my air-conditioned apartment, I am terrified of this car. I cannot imagine what it was like to actually pilot one of these things around these old tracks. There's no safety. The car is... just a nightmare to handle at all times. Really a special kind of person, especially the Silver Arrows era. People like Cracchiola, Von Braukic, and of course Rosemeyer. It's a fantastic mod, though. I definitely recommend you check this one out and do some some fun driving around. I'll post a lap time below if anybody feels like beating that. It probably won't be too hard. There's definitely a lot of time left on the track in this one.
I can't say enough good things about both of these mods. The track and the car are both really awesome. The Feldberg circuit is a lot of fun to drive. It's super fast. 8.4 kilometers, but it goes pretty quickly. The track closed down in 55 after the Le Mans disaster and never reopened. It didn't get upgraded for safety or anything like that. So that's really one of the strong points of sim racing. It lets us keep some of these tracks alive. Stuff like Oran Park that was I think demolished as recently as 2010. The same can be said for the cars. You know, nobody's going to get a chance to really drive an auto union at speed anytime soon unless somebody makes like a really, really well done like kit car copy, or I don't even know what the term would be. But you go back and you read the specs on this thing. It had a V16, which was putting out around 510 horsepower and around 629 pound-feet of torque, which in a car that weighs so little is... that and is on drum brakes is complete insanity. The top speed was like 211 miles per hour and no roll bar, no seat belts, no nothing. There's no aero grip, there's no mechanical grip, there's just no grip at all. And sort of tying it all together is the story of the drivers themselves. People like Bernd Rosemeyer in 1937 were 2 years away from the start of World War II and all the implications that brings. So it's a really interesting time in motorsports history where the German drivers and German cars are making a political statement whenever they win. As someone who went to school for history, there's a lot of appeal to the classic track and car mods that you get in the set, of course. I'd really like to start playing some Grand Prix Legends soon. It's a bit of a distraction from really focusing on getting better at iRacing and trying to be, genuinely competitive. But there are times where, I just want to sit down and play a racing game and not think about my lap times and not stress about, iRating or safety rating or things like that. So I think maybe we'll do some more videos like this in the future. They won't be a really common thing, but every once in a while, I think it'd be cool to go back and highlight some of the history of motorsport. If that's the sort of thing you think you would be interested in, please let me know down in the comments. But until next time, see you on the track.